Hi guys, welcome to another episode of The Fashion Edit. You're with me, Tamara. Our hair and makeup partner, the Beauty Quest Colombo, our nail partner, Anthia. On today's episode, we have Thimetha Algama with us. Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Alright, so tell us a bit about yourself.
My name is Thimetha. I went to Lyceum International School and started my uni years at AOD. At the moment, I'm currently working at Brandix as a graphic designer. Yes.
So tell us about your brand.
My brand is Dasveti. I was inspired by the lockdown crisis and my main inspiration was my mother. And so it was all about Sri Lankan resources, mainly talking about Beeralu and other Sri Lankan sources. So Beeralu was mainly in Gaul, and now it's like they don't use Beeralu anymore in the fashion industry. So I thought of taking out the Sri Lankan authenticity for my brand, and that's about my brand.
Alright, so when did you realize that you want to become a fashion designer?
I started my school years doing science, and I was mainly into science. Wanted to be a psychologist at first and ended up at AOD somehow. I think it was like a cross-check. And I was actually interested. When I first went to AOD, it was actually a cozy place, and it was fun. But until like the mid of it, I experienced how much I loved, going through the trends and getting the best out of all the collections and getting inspired by the international brands as well.
So what is your biggest motivation to go forward?
My biggest motivation is working through to get my brand to the global view. That's my biggest motivation.
Alright, so what are you doing these days? Do you have any new designs coming out?
These days I'm actually working at Brandix, and also they have these sustainability shows and a lot more view, and like so many brands are collaborating, and so I'm giving my designs to them as well, but planning to do something new.
One international designer, who would it be and why?
It's Christian Dior. His main inspiration was his mother, just like mine, and he always was inspired by the smallest details around him. Nothing beyond, but just something close to him. So I think that was the main reason.
Alright, so in your opinion, who are the 5 most talented designers in Sri Lanka?
In my opinion, Tharshana is one of them. Kamila, Amilani, and Indi, also Darsha Kirti. They are the best designers that I've seen so far, and I love their products.
Become a designer, which path would you choose?
I think I'll rather be a psychologist.
Okay, so what are the changes you like to see in this industry?
I think a lot of people are inspired by like out of Sri Lanka. So I think we have to get inspired by the Sri Lankan sources, actually spices, cinnamon, something which is very authentic to Sri Lanka. And I see a very few doing that. So I think that's.
So how has the current situation in Sri Lanka affected the designers?
Talking about the designers and the current situation, it's a huge crisis for everyone. There will be there are courier holes, as well as products won't come, and they won't import or export from here. There's a major impact for that. But people will not stop buying Sri Lankan products, or they won't stop the fashion industry. So I hope for the best with time, and I hope it recovers soon.
Alright, so my last question for you is, what is your message to the young people out there who is willing to become a designer?
I think you always have to think out of the box. As a designer, I think we always have to see something in a different perspective. If you see a rib cage, you don't have to see it in the rib cage, you have to see it in some other pentagon size or something else. Just an example. But I think you have to see things in different ways, and then also be on the trend list, always follow up on WGSN reports, and keep going your research. And also I feel like everyone as a designer should get the best out of their collection. Yes, thank you.
Alright, that was the episode with Thimetha Algama. Thank you for watching.